Om madhuvataaritayate madhuksharanti sindhavaha madhvirna santoshadhi madhunakto muto sasumadhumat parthibagang rajaha madhudurastanah pita madhu manno vanaspatihi madhu manastu suryaha madhvirgavo bhavantu naha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the winds bring us happiness. May the rivers carry happiness to us. May the herbs give us happiness. May night and day yield us happiness. May the dust of the earth bring us happiness. May the heavens give us happiness. May the trees give us happiness. May the sun pour down happiness. May the cows yield us happiness. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good morning. So, we prayed for happiness. All of us want happiness. A senior monk, I remember, in his note, I once read that actually it's mind. It is not the circumstances, the situations. Make us disturbed. Today, before starting or during our lecture, I was requested to mention a little bit of tornado. So, I am just mentioning because I told if it connects in its way, I can say, it came. It came. So, it is not a situation that makes us disturbed. It is your mind, an unshakable mind. Things will come. Even just before coming here, our printer was doing some kind of mischief. So I came here without last 3 or 4 pages. So, but I know that at the same time, the topic of our lecture is some thoughts on prayer. So should be today I am trying to share with you some kind of the conclusion part of that. So that is the conclusion. So nothing should not, we should not give power to our external world to shake us. Sri Ramakrishna once told about what is the sign of a jnani or sometimes or a bhakta. What is the sign of a devotee, a lover of God, and a wise person, a man of realization. The first thing he told, kutastha buddhi. Even during when the tornadoes were going up, we were discussing with our friends that kutastha buddhi. Kuta, if you search in dictionary, Sanskrit dictionary, sometimes it means the immovable, and sometimes they gave reference of Brahman. So Kuta means something that is immovable. Sri Ramakrishna gave an example of an anvil in goldsmith shop. You put hot iron or metal and hit it, pound it with hammer, but it cannot change the nature of the anvil. So first thing he gave. Then it goes on, he must be calm, because mind, it's about mind. Calmness is not, body is, calmness but is a fine thing, but calmness is body is more desirable. So, kutastha buddhi, unshakable thing. Um, so, when we have that kind of thing, that prayer brings the peace in mind. With prayer, we cannot, may not, of course, we can. It happened with great prophets, in the life of great prophets, of incarnation of God. That external world was changed. But for us, as a common devotee, it gives the strength in our mind. We get some kind of inner strength that every one of us can achieve. So, before starting that, let us this is the 5th lecture of the series. So what we have seen, because some of you are there, may not attend that one. So what we have discussed, little bit of that. Everything I cannot share with you, but some points I can share with you. First thing, we have discussed that it must not be, a prayer must not be a loud prayer. It should not be loud. Sometimes it may be unuttered and unarticulated even. Think about a little baby lying in his or her bed and seeing her pain, maybe crying a little bit. But he or she cannot utter any word. I need milk, food, or I want to go outside. It cannot say. But mother understands. So it can be unuttered, and again it may of a few words, minimum words sometimes. It also can sometimes express your prayer. So in prayer, there is no role of scholarly knowledge in the choice of the language of prayer that we wanted to say. You may not be a scholarly person. A pure heart, genuine heart is enough. We have mentioned one incident where when a priest prayed for a rain, it never came after a drought. But some farmer boy, when they prayed to God, and with joy, with dance, when they prayed to the cloud, and it happened, rain came. We have discussed that God is only giver. If you want something, better to ask from God. Data ek Ram. Ram is the only giver. And we have mentioned the story of a fakir and the Emperor Akbar. You may remember, and I did not go to the story. Okay. So main purpose of spiritual prayer is to seek divine assistance in attaining moral purity and spiritual progress. For a seeker of God, we want some help. Prayer represents the first stage in the aspirant's struggle for higher consciousness. You are not satisfied with your present state of existence, the awareness of existence. You are not satisfied. You want some higher state. That's why you are praying. Prayer is a conversation with God, some says, and some says prayer is the raising of the soul to God. Prayer takes in the whole man. Holiness is wholeness. We discussed. If you want holiness, you should have an uncompounded personality. It is not a scattered personality. That wholeness is required. Though God is unseen, prayer is not a monologue. There is a dynamic exchange of thought, of energy between God and you, your father or mother and you. And sometimes we have seen with what idea you are progressing in your spiritual life. It determines the language of prayer. If you are practicing your spiritual disciplines with an idea of sometimes you may remember we discussed there are many in Vaishnava especially, literature, there are 5 ideas that with that you can proceed in your spiritual life. Dasa bhava, shanta bhava, dasa bhava, shakha bhava, a idea with a, as if he is the controller of the universe, with a shanta bhava, nothing special. He is my destiny, with shanta bhava. The sages had that kind of idea. With dasa bhava, you are my master, I am your servant. You are my, again, sakha bhava, you are my friend, I am also your friend. I am playmate of your, what you are playing in this world, I am playmate of you. So, with what attitude you are progressing in your spiritual life, it changes the language of your that prayer also. The mind, when we pray, the mind becomes relaxed and calm only when it feels security and is detached from desires. When there is lack of desire, when you pray, you get some kind of relaxation. The sense of insecurity, it goes from you. Attempting higher degrees of concentration without fulfilling the primary conditions is one of the main causes of failure in spiritual life. We are trying to start it with maybe because you heard some kind of lecture. We read some bestseller book, and suddenly you started practicing all those things. But it may not be real to you. What it is discussed in the book, what it is discussed in the lecture, maybe it may not, because we are not, apparently we are standing on a same floor, we are sharing a same ground, but mentally we are not sharing the same ground. We are in a different position in our mental life, in our intellectual life. But prayer is very common to us, very real to us. So it helps you to build your life on a solid foundation. Then from the prayer, automatically it will transcend that it is preliminary stages, and it will merge into the higher kind of consciousness like meditation, samadhi, and all those things. Okay. Then everyone prays. So in our last Sunday, what we discussed, everyone prays. But in Bhagavad Gita, they says that only the sukritinaha, the devotees, the person, a man of a pure heart, they praise to God and they take refuge in Him. What is that? We have mentioned from 7 chapter, 15 and 16 number sloka. It says, Sri Krishna said, the evildoers, the foolish, the lowest of men, those persons deprived of knowledge by delusion, and those who are dominated by demoniac nature, they do not seek refuge in me. You can compare. They can take help of underworld. Solve my problem. So he mentioned that one. But who takes refuge in me? The good people. Sukritinaha chaturvidha bhajante mang jana sukriti norjuna arti jigya surartharthi gyani cha bharatarsava. 4 kind of people, devotees. They want to take help from me. So who are they? Artha, the distressed; Jigyasu, the seekers of knowledge; Artharthi, the seekers of material gain; and Gyani, those who are established in knowledge. So all those things we have discussed. You may remember that last one we are discussing about that all those 4 types of devotees, and we share some stories also. Artha, a distressed devotee, and who is a Artharthi devotee. We mentioned about Uttara, the king of elephant mentioned in Bhagavata, probably Prahlada, and who else? So let us start today's discussion. Through the discussions we have had so far, we have seen how, in times of danger, distress, or need, when faced with life's deep questions, ordinary people like us have turned to God in prayer. Whether in search of help or guidance, it is to God that we have lifted our hearts and voices. Yet, in our scriptures, we come across a different kind of rare soul, found only in very small numbers. Spiritual seekers, both men and women, sadhaka and sadhikas. We have seen it's not unique about Sanatana Dharma or Hindu Dharma. In every religion, we have seen great souls, they emerged out, noble characters. These people, they never called upon God for any personal need, but purely out of selfless love. Their prayers were not born out of desire or difficulty, but from the deepest longing of love. This is not something unique in Sanatana Dharma, we mentioned already. Through their prayers, we feel the sacred touch of their hearts. If you read, the books are full of sacred prayers. When you read, you feel, you get a touch of their noble heart. Their words offer us a glimpse into a purity that uplifts the soul. Just simply you can chant when you have time. You just the stotras, the hymns, various books are there. In ancient times, we hear the names of Narada, Prahlada, and the cowherd boys and girls of Vrindavana. In the medieval era, we remember Sri Chaitanya and Mirabai. And in very recent times, we have been blessed to witness the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna's life and teachings overflow with references to prayer. Its depth, its beauty, and its importance, so much so that it would be impossible to recount them all. So, what limited time we have, we will try to recount some of those incidents, and we will see how apt it is. So, at the end of last lecture, I remember we have found, we are discussing about two things, love and knowledge. That can help you to get rid of your difficulties, your suffering. Love and knowledge. You seek for love, and you seek for knowledge. We have seen that in our this love, in the early stages of love, it means prayer. When you pray to God, actually you are exercising that faculty of love. You are my own. That's why I came to you. Please solve my problem. Please give some guidance. And another thing is love. Another thing is knowledge. So knowledge we call vichara. In the early stages of knowledge, when you have that ultimate realization, then you can get the ultimate knowledge. We call Brahma Jnana, Tattva Jnana, and what is the real nature of this universe, what is the real nature of yourself, of me. That is ultimate. But before that, in our present stage, we do vichara, reasoning. This is sat, this is asat. This is temporary, transitory, and this is real. Let us that turn my mind towards the real. As you continue in a life of perfect purity and prayer, one change we see in our life. What is the change? We gradually see our subtle body is becoming more luminous and prominent in our life. We have seen that in life of Sri Ramakrishna, that will come afterwards. If you want to discuss about their life, they hardly mention their external existence, bodily existence. They rather love to talk about mind and intellect, what he is thinking, what is his understanding or her understanding on life. No, you will see that it is you will feel that we have seen many great souls, many great monks, that seeing them, you can understand they dwell on a different plane of existence. So, actually, you are more dwelling in your inner soul. So, it became more active, deciding all those decisions that you take in your life about mind, about your intellect, not much about your body. They manage their body with simple food, simple dressing. But they think about the company, what kind of company they are getting. I talked with a professor in my university, and we have discussed all these subtle issues, philosophical issues or psychological issues. No. But in a gross level, generally we discuss about our what kind of cloth we have bought, and what is the price, what is the cost of that. So we see with your maturity in your spiritual life that there is a shift from a grosser level of existence into a subtle level of existence. But at the same time, we should say that it is not. We are not talking about they always wear that kind of bad kind of cloth. We are not want to say that. Rather, we have to protect our self-image. We have to uplift our self-image. We have to think time to time, I am not a beggar. Beggar means beggar in spirit. I'm not talking about our profession or way of how we are getting our money. No. We're talking about our that identification. So we are like a devata. We are the children of immortal bliss. So when any temptation comes, we should say to ourselves, no, I will not succumb to it. I am a devata. I am a son of that immortal bliss. I am son of Sri Ramakrishna. I am daughter of Sri Ramakrishna. That kind of thing. So in Paramartha Prasanga, Towards the Goal Supreme, that book written by Swami Virajananda ji, we get a slok, a verse there, where he says, he quoted a verse from our scripture. Ahang deva na channay asmi brahmai bahang na shoka bhag satchidananda rupoham nitta mukta sabhavavan. Always remind yourself, always think, in distress, in challenge, in temptation, in lethargy, when you feel laziness, remind yourself again and again, repeat like a mantra. What is the? Ahang devana channi asmi, I am the divine, none other than that. I am Brahman alone, I am the Brahman. Untouched by sorrow, my true nature is existence, consciousness and bliss, eternally free by essence itself. I am the Brahman. I am Nitya Mukta Sahavan. Nothing is there that can bind me. Suffering may come, but that it should not force me now that make your mood off. No, I am still bright. I can say, I can face those struggles. You must hold on to a new self-image of yours. Imagine that you are a luminous god or goddesses full of beauty, glory and perfection. You must take the help of everything, boosts this self-image. And how to do that? Make to convert your room into a shrine. We can do that. Or maybe if we cannot convert my room into shrine, there must be a corner of my room that can act as a shrine. And keep it pure and holy, and live there as a ascetic, as a tapasvi. Because we are discussing about spiritual matter, that's why taking. I am that saintly person or sage, tapasvi, who does tapas. So this is my room. It's not mere room. It is a hermitage. It's a shrine. It's a temple. That practical sometimes. And sometimes you can, whenever you get time, if it is a different room from your bedroom, so try to go there frequently, 2 times, 4 times. Just go there, offer your salutation to God, make a connection, and then come. So that will help you in your that progress. And sometimes they talk about that. Another thing, idea is also there. We heard from your senior monks that some hymns are there, in especially in Sanatana Dharma, in Hindu Dharma. We call mantra kavacha. Kavacha, some kind of armor. As if in those days, in medieval era or ancient days, whenever the warriors used to go to the battlefield to protect themselves from the arrow and all those things, weapons, they used to wear armors. So there is an idea of a mantra kavacha, mantra armor. When you are repeating a mantra, just try to think that it is protecting yourself, your body. It is purifying your all those limbs one by one. And some of the mantras you can find in those books. Some books are there, like universal prayers. Universal prayer mantra may not be there, but some books are there. You will see, if your prayer, that kavacha mantra, is for a Shakti, means towards a Devi, maybe Durga kavacha, just or maybe Rama kavacha, whatever else. So kavacha means armor. So you will see that it is one by one, as it goes on, that the mantra is going on. You will so a name of Rama, maybe Raghunandana, Kaushalya Nandana. They are different name of Rama, or maybe that Durga, Parameshwari, Shivani, all those names. So I am meditating. As you are repeating those stotras, you are thinking that in every limb, every part of your body, that the Devi, she is residing there, in your head, in your chest, in your hands. So it gives a beautiful idea. It improves your self-image. I am not a ordinary, ordinary that a body of skin, blood only. I have a different identity also. Some different idea of myself. I can remind me again and again. I am a devata. I am a luminous being. So this is a practical helps. And another thing we can try, that always try to remember we are not alone. Never. It is present a problem. We see, people suffers from loneliness. So you have to practice daily. We are not alone. If you are a worshipper of Christ, you can think the Christ is there, Mother Mary is there, disciples are there. And if you think about, that's why in our shrine we keep different, that images are there. Whenever you enter, you are not alone. That the room is full with all those noble souls. Sri Ramakrishna is there, Holy Mother is there, Swami Vivekananda is there, all the direct disciples are there. And go and see in the backside, in the wall, Shiva is there, Buddha is there, Mother Mary with little Jesus is there, Ganesha is there. So we are not alone. And it's true. If you read life of Swami Brahmananda, there is an incident that Swami Brahmananda and probably Swami Turiyananda, maybe somebody else, maybe, they were practicing. They were doing their spiritual practices in Vrindavana. So at night, and being a disciple, Sri Ramakrishna, they have a different practice. Sri Ramakrishna early go to bed or step, and when it is still dark, leave your bed, sit for meditation or japa. That was their. So but every day your body, does not support you. Sometimes you feel little laziness, dullness in your body. For food, change of climate, many things it happens. And for the mendicant monks, they used to get food from different houses. So food also changes. So one day at night they are sleeping. They sleeping, and very humble maybe in the floor and on a blanket maybe they're just sleeping. Suddenly they found that a luminous body came like another of a sage, and they came and they pushed them, get up, get up. So they immediately say, they leaving their bed, they sat on meditation. So it's a kind of help. Yeah. So many days he told that many days we have seen, we are also sitting for meditation, and that luminous soul, luminous somebody, he is also sitting there. Many incidents are there. Our Swami Brahman, another, he was in maybe Kashi, in Benares. Swami Nirvanananda, one of his sevakas, attendant, wrote that. So one day, Nirvanananda went out for some different work maybe, and he found, when he looked back to the room of Swami Brahmananda, and Swami Brahmananda was talking with many other devotees or monks maybe, he found somebody climbed on the steps, and somewhere else he went on, that person. So he went up there, Nirvanandaji, and he asked Swami Brahmananda about it. So there was no place to go from this where. So Brahmananda told, it happens. When some great soul who lives somewhere, goes somewhere and talk about this kind of thing, so other yogis also, sometimes they come, and noble souls, to hear all those discussion. So it's true. So it is a different world. But what we want now is two things. That is chastity and egolessness. That is two things we have to, because it remains as a story. I heard a story, and maybe I dreamt of something. So it will just that make weak your nerves. So what to follow? Not those stories. It will come if they want. But for us, what to follow? Two things. One is chastity, as much as possible, purity, some kind of restraint in your for monks, laws are there, and for the regular people, follow there. Little enjoyment, little, both, calling God, both the things. But we understand what the restraint means. There must be some restraint in your life also. And without restraining yourself, we cannot achieve anything. Maybe it is music or study. Nothing we can achieve. So little restraint is important. Most of our problems in spiritual life comes from lack of holy company. If you are living with a spiritual advanced soul, then spiritual life would have appeared easy and real to you. When you live with that kind of person, you will see, no, it is not a mere story or imagination. It's true. All your time is spent in worldly people's company or ordinary devotees. That is why spiritual life appears to be so difficult to you. Sometimes we spend time, maybe you are watching, you love to see movies. Now web series are there. You are spending, it's good to see, but if it is too much, actually you are in a wrong company. Your mind, not wrong, I do not want to say that one, if the context in spiritual life, so if you may not physically talking with some bad people, but in virtual way, you are giving company of those characters in series and all those things. So we have to keep in mind also. So your talk, your way of thinking may be influenced with that. So here, most of our problems, it comes with that from the company. For all of our problems, we can pray to Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. So, we may another thing. That day I was reading from a saying of Swami Turiyananda, where he is saying, you can change your house. It's a bad place. Change your house. You may change your workplace also. It's a bad place. But karma will follow you. So, environment is important. But we have to keep in mind somewhere, it is not everything. Karma will follow. So in yoga, that Shastra scripture, we talk about karmashaya, where all karmas, it reside, all with its fruit. So there, if you really have to, you want to change your life, you have to pray. Then your chosen deity, whoever you love, Buddha, Jesus, Sri Ramakrishna or Holy Mother, they will intervene there. They can change there, not ordinary people. So prayer is very important in our spiritual life also. It is not environment. Environment, little bit you can change, but karma will follow. Wherever you go, new challenges will come. The tornado went, new tornado may come. I hope after 60 years may it come. I don't know, not now. We are still struggling. There is only spiritual solution to the problems of life. Is there anyone who does not have problems, sufferings? Everybody has to follow the karma as a rule. God will directly intervene and change our destiny only when we pray to Him intensely and depend upon Him alone. Even then only when we have struggled intensely and have reached a critical point, then only they will come. Before that, we have to try. So, in our normal course of a spiritual life, there are some steps. We start in our spiritual life with faith. And when we struggle with that faith, then comes hope. In previous, some of our class or lectures, we are talking about our struggle. Pravartaka, I remember. There are some stages. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Pravartaka, Siddha, Siddher Siddha. Pravartaka is the beginner. No, I think here only in that. So, Pravartaka, the beginner. Then comes Sadhaka. That's the second step, who for maybe some years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, doing. They are sadhaka. Then when they get some kind of illumination, we call him as a siddha. Then comes siddher siddha, something higher than that. Who? Like Sri Ramakrishna, Ram Prasad. They are talking with Mother, God, sharing their thoughts. They are very real to him. So that kind of him. Then it comes that after hope, it comes that true love. When you started talking, and you can tie, you as if you bind God with some rope, the rope called love, and God is following the devotee. We have seen that kind of story everywhere. Sri Ramakrishna, Mother, I do not want you now. You means in the different sense. So don't sit there in the Sahasrara. Come down. He's saying, I do not want samadhi. You see, I want to talk with your devotees. So let us go. Time is not much. Let us go to Sri Ramakrishna's thing. Sri Ramakrishna, only now, last 10 minutes maybe, and how he is solving our problem. So, he is telling that do not dwell on glories of God in prayer. He went to Brahma Samaj. Sometimes, what kind of prayer? He was correcting the language of prayer. When he is like a friend of all. Brahma Samaj in those days was a prominent, it is some kind, can I say like that, Pavitrananda ji, maybe he told, is a that Protestant side of Sanatana Dharma. He put it in that way to make you understand. All those moral rules are there. Moral rules are there. Everyone be good, be honest, like that. So, but they do not believe in incarnation, guru. So anyhow, so Sri Ramakrishna, when he used to visit time to time, and those devotees used to come. So he found that why you are talking so much about glory, how beautiful sky you have created, how beautiful trees you have created, how beautiful sea you have created. You are giving too much time to that. Just make it brief, make it summarized. Why? You see, God and His glory. This universe is His glory. People see His glory and forget everything. They do not seek God, whose glory is this world. Little correction. If you talk too much of glory, you are not giving time who is the behind the glory. Don't forget. It is some kind of maya. It distracts your mind. Okay, you have little bit you have said how beautiful sky you have created. Then go, who created that? Okay. Then goes on favorable wind. Many points are there, but it is not time to. It may take a different day to discuss all those things. Favorable wind, Anukul hawa. The world is like an overcast sky that steadily pours down rain. It may rain. The face of the sun is seldom seen. There is mostly suffering in the world. Mostly. Holy Mother told that sukha and dukkha, pleasure and pain. So, sukha, the pleasure is just, it is like just a word. Mother was talking in Bengali, so sa, u, kha, that word. In English, maybe P, L, E, A, that much. As long as you read that much pleasure you have. No real pleasure. So there is mostly suffering in the world. On account of the cloud of lust and gold, one cannot see the sun. Some people ask me, sir, why has God created such a world? Is there no way out of us? I say to them, why shouldn't there be a way out? Take shelter with God and pray to Him with a yearning heart for a favorable wind. How beautiful. Favorable wind. That you may have things in your favor. If you call on Him with yearning, He will surely listen to you. Then the story. A man had a son who was on the point of death. In a frenzy, he asked remedies of different people. One of them said, there is a remedy. First, it must rain. When the star Swati is in the ascendant, then some of the rain must fall into a skull. Typical medicine. Then a frog must come there to drink the water, and a snake must chase it. And when the snake is about to bite the frog must hop away, and the poison must fall into the skull. You should give the patient a little of the poison and rainwater from the skull. The father set out eagerly to find the medicine when the star Swati was in the sky. It started raining. Fervently he said to God, O Lord, please get a skull for me. Favorable wind, huh? Searching here and there, he at last found a skull with rainwater in it. Again he prayed to God, saying, O Lord, I beseech thee, please help me find the frog and the snake. Since he had great longing, he got the frog and the snake also. In the twinkling of an eye, he saw a snake chasing a frog, and as it was about to bite the frog, its poison fell into the skull. Then Sri Ramakrishna's conclusion, what is the moral? If one takes shelter with God and prays to Him with great longing, important thing, longing unites the seeker and God. And there. God will surely listen. He will certainly make everything favorable. Sometimes we repair many things, computer and electricity. You have to connect that one. longing, earnestness that connects. Then captain was there, a devotee. What an apt illustration. Master, yes, God makes everything favorable. Perhaps the aspirant does not marry, thus he is able to devote his whole attention to God. Or perhaps his brothers earn the family's livelihood, or perhaps a son takes on the responsibilities of the family. Then the aspirant will not have to bother about the world. He can give 100% of his mind to God. Many kind of help may come in your life. Who knows? I am not against, don't think that you should marry. So we have to think that the context. Okay. Oh, again, that about the earnestness, Sri Ramakrishna is saying, nothing whatsoever is achieved in spiritual life without yearning. By constantly living in the company of holy men, the soul becomes restless for God. This yearning is like the state of mind of a man who has someone ill in the family. His mind is in a state of perpetual restlessness. Think, what kind of illustration? Somebody sick in the family, your mind is on a perpetual restlessness. That became a permanent nature of your mind. Restlessness, you cannot put your mind. Thinking how the sick person may be cured. Or again, one should feel a yearning for God like the yearning of a man who has lost his job and is wandering from one office to another in search of work. If he is rejected at a certain place which has no vacancy, he goes there again the next day and inquires, is there any vacancy today? That yearning. What kind of example is there? It is from our life. That's why if you read Sri Ramakrishna, the context is so real because we are at a different age now. Then he is saying that God will help in that giving you willpower. Important. That we are discussing about that. What kind of willpower? If you are trying, but again failing again and again, pray to God. He will give the willpower to overcome all those things. What are the spiritual disciplines that give the mind its upward direction? What are the disciplines that we should follow? One learns all this by constantly living in holy company. The rishis of olden times lived either in solitude or in the company of holy persons. Therefore, they could easily renounce lust and gold and fix their minds on God. They had no fear, nor did they mind the criticism of others. You see, we think rishis, sages, no problem. No, they are also like a human being. They tried. Many people criticize them in their life. No, they had also family issues, problems were there. They have. And Sri Ramakrishna once told about the rishis. They used to meditate in forest among tigers and snakes. We have many problems with our colleagues and family members. No, I cannot meditate. For me, it happens sometimes. When I first came here, I was thinking the steps are made of wood. So if you climb up to the shrine, it creates sound. No? Our habit was different. Our shrines were houses were brick built. So if somebody comes and goes, no sound. So that I was thinking, okay, Sri Ramakrishna had a solution. The rishis, they meditated in a forest. And there are tigers and snakes and everything. But again they attain perfection. Who are you? Is there any tiger here inside the room? No. What is the problem? So Sri Ramakrishna had everything. All solutions are there. That's why we always read a little bit daily. What kind of help you will get, you never know. And with time, when our monks for years and up years, 50 years, 60 years, they're reading same book. And it is a unfathomable wisdom is there. With your maturity, what you skipped last time, you may get now. So he's saying, in order to be able to renounce, one must pray to God for the willpower to do so. One must immediately renounce what one feels to be unreal. The rishis had this willpower, you see. How they did that? They had the willpower and they prayed to God for the willpower. Through it, they control the sense organs. If the tortoise once tucks in its limbs, you cannot make it bring them out even by cutting it into 4 pieces. What example? Then he goes on. Pray with feeling, eagerly, establish relationship with God, wholeheartedly, with longing heart, with guileless heart, with pure heart, with restless soul, with intensity, fervent heart, with sincerity, and with tears. Pray with tears. Another day. So I will take, today I have a freedom to take little more time because today there is no Zoom class. Please bear with me. So, page number 6 to 7. One sub-judge was visiting Dakshineshwar. How can we know that we have knowledge? That was the question. Master, Sri Ramakrishna. When one has knowledge, one does not see God anymore at a distance. One does not think of him anymore as he. He becomes these. Means very difficult, translate very difficult. He is not tini, not you, ini. Ini means this. Here, not he is not. So translation very difficult to do. So not he, not pointing outside, but you are saying pointing here, he. So with knowledge, what is the knowledge? Sign of knowledge. When one has knowledge, one does not see God anymore at a distance. You see how easy. That is the spiritual illumination. He sees one does not think of him as more as he, pointing that side. He becomes this here. Then he is seen in one's own heart. God dwells in every man. He who seeks God realizes him. Sub-judge. He has a question. Sir, I am a sinner. Sometimes we are. Swami, you are a monk. We are neglected, like that. Deprived human being. We have to live in family life. We are sinners. That's common thing for us also. Oh, you are a great monk. I am just a brahmachari, a young monk. That sense of inferiority comes. So here is the problem. No sense of inferiority. I am also, you are also son of God, we are also daughter of God, or son of God, whatever else. So, sir, I am a sinner. How can I say that God dwells in me? Master, that's the one trouble with you Brahmos. With you, it is always sin and sin. Once a man gave me a book. A part of it was read to me, and it was full of that one thing, sin and sin. One must have that such faith that one can say, I have uttered the name of God, I have repeated the name of Rama or Hari. How can I be a sinner? One must have faith in the glory of God's name. So if you do not believe in God's name, you don't have a proper idea of God. If God is holy, His name also holy. If He dwells here, how can we remain a sinful person? Maybe we may do some mistake, but uttering His name, prostrating before Him, again we can regain that purity. That faith must come. You see, same question. Sir, how can one have such faith? Have passionate love for God. Have passionate love for God. One of your Brahma songs says, O Lord, is it ever possible to know Thee without love? However much one may perform worship and sacrifice. That song says, whatever you're doing, do it love. If you're doing worship, do it love. If you're working, you're serving God, work with love. Have that passionate. Pray to God in secret, another thing. In secret. In secret and with yearning, that you may have the passionate attachment and devotion to Him. Shed tears for Him. A man sheds a jugful of tears because of his families, or because he is losing money, or because he is worrying about getting a job. But tell me, whoever weeps for God, Here is the difference. It goes on, need of prayer, to commune with God, to develop yearning for God. What will happen? God will explain everything. What will happen if you pray? You have a doubt? God will explain everything. God will listen. God will provide what you need and desire. So he gave another day, he gave an example. Ask God about it. If you have some doubt, pray to him sincerely. He will tell you everything. Now, apt example. What? Speak to Jodu Mollik, and he will himself will tell you how many houses he has and how many government bonds. It is not right to try to know these things at the beginning. First of all, realize God, then he will say everything. Yeah? If you want to want some information of Jodu Mollik, a wealthy person of Kolkata, if you ask me, it will not happen. You have to ask Jodu Mollik. If you ask, Jodu Mollik will tell everything. This much house or property I have. So ask to Jodu Mollik. The police sergeant goes his rounds in the dark of night with a lantern in his hand. No one sees his face, but with the help of that light, the sergeant sees everybody's face. And others too can see one another. If you want to see the sergeant, however, you must pray to him. Sir, please turn the light on your own face. We are talking with each other. We are communicating with each other, with your thought. So, we see each other. But from where came the light? Light does not mean this one. We are talking about consciousness. From where it came? It came from the police sergeant. We have to say, please, you have just turn the lights towards your face so that we can see you. If you want to see the sergeant, however, you must pray to him. In this country, it was there before electricity. In India, it was like with a lantern at night. They used to give. Now, in car, they petrol our area time to time. We can see the car. In those days, with a lantern, the policeman used to move. So he could see everyone, but nobody could see the police sergeant. So you have to request him. If you want to see the sergeant, you have to say, Sir, please turn the light on your own face. Let me see you. In the same way, one must pray to God, O Lord, be gracious and turn the light of knowledge on thyself, that I may see thy face. With this kind of bond, what comes? It is not, it's a divine helplessness. A light it is not an ordinary helplessness. It is not like a beggarship in that sense. There is a they call yearning or restlessness and divine restlessness. Difference is there. So this hopelessness, we have also divine hopelessness. We have to depend on him. He is listening. With that comes that strength. So there are many, we get strength when you advance in your spiritual life. And we understand that another thing, the God's will. Prayer for particular things may not be fulfilled in our life. May not be. Sometimes may not be. But if we pray for devotion, it is bound to be fulfilled. Why? There is no doubt about that. You pray for devotion, but what is devotion? To come into contact with God, to get love for God. That is devotion. If you seek for devotion, it's bound to come. What is the result of loving God? To be one with him. Love unites, hatred separates. The more we love God, the more our love for God increases. So we come closer to him. Then it is like going to our home. If we want to go to our own home, nobody can prevent us. So devotion is bound to happen because it is coming home. We have every right to return to our home. Nobody can prevent us. So devotion, knowledge is like a returning home. So we are talking about, just let us conclude discussion. We can, in some other occasion, we can share all those things. The divine will, God's will. So Sri Ramakrishna, we should pray. What kind of pray? We should pray day and night. Pray to God in this way. We do not want deliverance from pain or affliction. Let misery and affliction come. Let death come. Let disappointments come. But, O God, grant unto us this prayer, that our mind may not be dissociated from thy lotus feet. In whatever circumstances thou mayest place us, may our mind be always filled with thy love. If we be filled with the love of God, even in the midst of bitterest sorrow, even in the midst of the bitterest disappointment, we shall always feel peace and happiness. Sri Ramakrishna is a burning example. He had throat cancer. He was lying down in a bed in Kashipur house. Many devotees came, many pandits, scholar came, many yogis came. They knew the capacity of Sri Ramakrishna. They requested, if you once pray for that, that you will be recovered from this terrible thing. But he never, I do not want to. I cannot pray in that way. I cannot. Because I am not, because when your mind, it's your ego, that tiny ego, that seek for your that little enjoyment. But if your ego is united with that cosmic I, so you cannot think, you cannot confine your consciousness in a little body. If just it may be like that go to the Supreme Court because my sister didn't give me the chocolate. So it becomes so unimportant for you. For that, how I can ask? So he was suffering. But no. So that heroic spirit we need. Then we understand there are many that prayers in the book, but suddenly it occurred to me. We suddenly saw a new light. The sages, willpower. We talk about willpower of the sages. You see what they prayed. Tejosi tejomai dhehi. They prayed in Vajasanaya Sanghita. Tejosi tejomai dhehi. Virjamasi virjangamai dhehi. Balamasi balangmai dhehi. Ojasi ojahmai dhehi. Mannurasi mannungmai dhehi. Sahosi sahomai dhehi. What does it mean? You are the radiance. Instill that brilliance in me. Your strength, fill me with that strength. Your power, grant me that power. Your vitality, endow me with that vitality. Your righteous anger, awaken in me that fearless spirit against injustice. Your fortitude, make me steadfast and patient. Why a sage? It is also, we talk about spiritual scripture. Why it came? Why it was preserved, this prayer, thousands years ago? We talk about many prayers. Why? Because they also struggled in their life. No? What kind of heart that kind of prayer would come out? It only for they also faced struggle, suffering, our tornadoes. But they wanted that, we want a unshakable. With that unshakable thing, mind, we can attain that supreme knowledge. We are not. So, finally we found somebody, George Herbert, his quotation. He that would learn to pray, let him go to sea. It is so much connected with this thought. If you want to how to pray, go to sea, in the sea, ocean. it will teach you how to pray. We got the answer. Why? What? Why? I wanted looking for that what kind of explanation they are giving. But suddenly it struck me in our class, Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita had the answer. How a sea can teach us. So it goes like that. Muni prasanna gambhiro durbi gaiho durattaya ananta paro hi akshabhya stimitoda ivarnava. Remember who are there in the class? Now you remember. The nature of a sage can be aptly compared to a tranquil, profound, boundless, and insurmountable ocean. Mind of a sage. While the sage's external demeanor radiates serenity, inwardly he remains profoundly composed and unfathomable. Just as the ocean's depth cannot be measured, so too is the wisdom of the sage immeasurable. Crossing the ocean is a daunting task, and similarly, due to his innate brilliance and spiritual vigor, the sage is impervious to contempt or disrespect. The ocean, with its vastness, offers no shore to the voyager, and likewise a sage who has attained self-realization transcends the confines of space and time, existing beyond the ordinary limits of the material world. Furthermore, just as impurities entering the ocean cannot disrupt its fundamental nature, so too does a sage remain untouched and unshaken by emotional disturbances or attachments, maintaining his equanimity and detachment in all circumstances. Then, next verse. Then, Samriddho kamo hino va narayana paro muni not sarpeta na shusheta sarit vir ivan sagara. In the rainy season, countless rivers pour immense volumes of water into the ocean, yet the ocean does not overflow with excitement. Similarly, in the scorching summer, when the rivers dwindle to a trickle, the ocean does not dry up. In the same way, a sage who has taken refuge in God as their sole support remains unmoved, neither elated by abundant pleasures nor sorrowful in their absence. So, learn how to pray from the ocean. Here is the thing. So, with our pranam, let us conclude. Sangsararnava ghore yah karnadhara swarupakaha namastu Rama Krishnaya tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I offer my obeisance to Sri Ramakrishna, who in the divine form of the Guru is the helmsman of my vessel, guiding me across the vast and tumultuous ocean of worldly existence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace.